welcome back to Between Us. We are so excited today to have our very first guest, Ayesha Sehra. She is the creator and host of Coffee and a Good Vibe, both the podcast and their live events. And I have to say, I have been to her live events and they're just so inspiring. So I know today's conversation is just going to be exciting and so wonderful. And I'm so excited to learn from her.
Building the relationship with myself is been monumental, and that takes a lot of work. I think it's like so many layers to it, but I think journaling every single day, creating space for solitude within myself and getting so comfortable to just be alone in my energy, whether that's in the morning, like when I wake up, making a coffee and then sitting in silence and like doing the things that bring me joy.
So excited to have you with us. So this has been something I've wanted to do for a really long time with you. We have the creator and host of Coffee and a Good Vibe. It's so incredible what you have done with that podcast, but also with the live events. I actually got to go to one of your live events, and it was just such an incredible experience seeing all the incredible people you're able to bring together. You bring in founders and CEOs of companies, but then you also have influencers and eager investors, and you bring in all this incredible people together, and they have this vibe about them that's not competitive with each other. It's not ego-based, but it's just really community and giving back and really coming together and joining forces. And I thought it'd be so cool and special for Weslie and I to be able to talk to you about how you were able to build this community. It's something that we obviously want to do with our own podcast, and you've just done it so well. So I guess kind of getting started is, where did your idea with Coffee and a Good Vibe come from?
Oh, I love that. Well, thank you so much for having me and that like beautiful reflection of the events. I'm so grateful that you've like been to London. I remember that's when we met.
Yes.
You have this presence when you walk in a room, people just gravitate towards you. And when I was up there hosting the event and doing the live show, I just like was staring right at you. Have not that you. And I was just like, who is this gorgeous being of light? And I was so awesome to connect like after the event and grow a friendship. It's exactly what I always envision of these events, of letting them birth new relationships that go beyond like the night in this room.
Yeah.
Where people can come and they can meet other people that are like, oh, I'm going to add you to my tribe, like my community. And I think the live events, they come from such a place of my own story and journey. I started the podcast when I moved to LA when I was 22, and I had nothing. I was a Canadian, like building my business, navigating the journey of entrepreneurship, building a company, also the visa, every challenge and obstacle of like moving to a new country and building a company. I faced that. But in that time, one thing I absolutely love is connecting with people, and I'm all about energy. I think the energy that you put out in the world comes back, and if you put out that good energy, that good intent, then you will attract that in other people, and other people will see that in you. And I always say this on the podcast, that your vibe attracts your tribe. So that is kind of the why it even started Coffee and a Good Vibe. I love coffee, love good vibes, love good energy. I leveraged age so much when I moved here, being like this like hungry 22-year-old, to get in the room with different founders and different people on my vision board of connecting with. I just went for it. And when I started that podcast, I made a promise to myself, Ayesha, when you build this network of all these amazing people, like in a really eclectic group of people, you're going to host these industry events, these dinners, and bring people together.
Yeah.
So the version of you that would have craved for that, you would create it.
Well, I love it because I feel like even as women, like all three of us here, like I feel like you always hear about people that do like baby showers and you do engagement parties and all these things. But like you were really one of the first events I went to that just celebrated people's success, really celebrating other people's businesses that they own and supporting that. And I was like, why aren't we doing this more often? So I think it's so incredible what you did. But even knowing that you're from Canada, you create a community in LA for people that are probably based in LA, which is even more wild at such a young age for you to have done that. Was it difficult because you actually weren't from LA, or was that part of the inspiration of like how you could meet people?
Yeah, I think my whole thing, like I've always been like this, if I'm comfortable, then I need to move. If you're in a room where you don't feel like you're growing, you're in friendships and relationships that like aren't making you better, then you need to make a shift. So when I moved to LA, I think I gave myself no other choice but to build community, build tribe, build that out here. So it was very challenging, but I think like whenever you're faced with challenges and you're in uncomfortable situations, that's when you grow. That's when you take so much action. Because if I was comfortable back in Toronto, where I'm from, I probably would have not went as far as I did with like meeting new people. I had like crazy schedules in myself where I'm like every week you're gonna reach out to like 20 new people, go for coffees with 10 new people, and I still, now that I'm at like such a different phase in my life and in my journey, like I still kind of apply the same principles like when I go to New York for a business trip and I'm like, okay, I have a PR agency, so I was like, this intention, you're gonna connect with 5 new PR agencies in this space, influencers of this industry, podcasters of this, because of my business that I have now, which is wild because my business really scaled from the relationships.
Yeah. Well, Wesley and I always talk about like how you can really build a schedule out. Cause like for me, I'm like you. I see all of your posts and like all of your schedules. Even today you had one up. It was so amazing. But I'm always talking to Wesley, like it's such an important and crucial thing to do in your life.
Especially you're a queen of being so busy, both of you.
Yeah.
Like you have so many things going on, and I think we can do have it all.
I think like with Wesley right now, hers is like actively set up for her, right? Being in school. But I kind of base my life of the way you're in school, but I'm like trying to show her and like give her an example like you of like how you can do it for your future because she is gonna be going off to school soon.
Yeah. Do you use any like tactics to help organize like your events? Because I know she's a planner. She has her journal and like I'm trying to learn from that. So do you have any way that you try to navigate that space?
Oh my gosh, yes. And I think because we've done 11, we just finished our 11th event in February in LA. There's so many. And we're planning actually now our 12th event, I guess, at the end of the year. Because I've learned so much from doing this. And I will say, like, the systems we develop now are so different than when I started. Now I do use like I make a big Excel sheet and we have like different pillars of the event and different tabs and it's color coded and it has all these things. But I think even on the beginning, like starting with your vision is key in writing it out. Because I take all my inspiration from like pen to paper digitally, but I think we can go as into it as you want, but like I do recommend like storing everything in a Google Drive and making an Excel and making kind of how your brain operates and works, like taking that and making a template out of it. Because then you can duplicate that template every event. So you're doing like, I've been to your we're just talking about your C16 nuts bucket plan. Yeah, you can make a whole like an Excel sheet when you have one tab for guest list, one tab for partners, one tab for run of show, because it literally is like a production from like load in to like clean up and wrap up, and then one tab for team, one tab for like location setup with a map. You can really go up, but then once you do it once, then we just really duplicate it, and then you just clean it, and it's so easy.
But I like what you're saying because it kind of shows who your tribe is, because you're saying that's how you built your tribe, right? Is from like putting like the vision board out there, really putting the energy out there to the world. But even all that work you've put out is also going to bring in those same kind of people that see that work ethic from you. Because when you go to your events, you can feel how much time and thought went into it. So it's going to draw on that same audience. And I think it's just really special because it really shows that like your work ethic is really proving itself in the people that are attending it as well. How are you able to get those people there? That is really hard. You know what I mean? There's always so many events happening in LA. There's always so many parties. There's always this happening. And especially the people that are coming, like they're actively working and invested into their own talent and craft. So to get that many people in a room, the whole room was packed. We were at the one hotel. And I'm telling you, it was like jam-packed in there with like the best energy, the coolest people, like, but like, how did you find them and pull them in?
Yeah, I always say your events are only as good as your guest list, because it's truly like everyone, especially in LA, we were just talking about the events that you've been able to go to. Like every event in LA, as sad as like they have the best food, they have the best goodie bags, they have the beautiful venue, the decor. So when I was thinking about my events, I was like, what's gonna separate it? You know, it's the vibe that I create.
Mhm.
Not excluding, but having such different types of people. One of the things with working in the PR space is I'm so grateful my company gets to work with different brands and gets to help assist in influencer events. And one of the things I would see is like, not everyone has a seat at the table. And that's
Yeah.
something that I don't like. So I was like, when I get to do an event, I'm going to have different people from all different types of networks, all different types of backgrounds. Because I think growing up also in Toronto, I was always exposed to so much diversity. So I was like, my events,
Mhm.
I don't care about that brand strategy. I'm doing it this way where I have everyone is welcome. And I'm very big on, and this is where it's like, I know it's like hard to scale it and off. I know a lot of people will work with external people to like help them with invites, but I'm super intentional with making sure that every single person who's invited knows that their attendance is so appreciated and needed to make the event what it is.
Do you feel overwhelmed, exhausted, or disconnected from your partner? Well, let me offer you something that could help. It's called Paired. It's an app for couples who want to strengthen their relationship. And it's founded on the simple belief that real lasting love is hard work and a daily practice. All of Paired's content is backed by experts and relationship therapists, and it's proven to work. Now, all you have to do is you and your partner have to download the app together, and every day Paired gives you personalized questions, quizzes, or games that help you stay connected and deepen those conversations. And sometimes it's just straight up fun. Now, the best part is that you can't see your partner's answers until you answer it yourself, so it's a safe space to have an open and honest discussion. There's no faking it, there's no pretending, it's just about genuine connection. Now, I know for me, sharing in deep conversations, it just plays a huge role in all of the relationships I have. So whether you're just having a few dates or you've been together for a long time, find that time to connect with your partner and nourish that relationship. It can take up just 5 minutes a day. So head over to pair.com/betweenus to get a 7-day free trial and 25% off if you sign up for a subscription. Again, that's pair.com/betweenus. Sign up today, practice love, and Paired is the #1 app for couples to share in quality conversations. Again, that's pair.com/betweenus. And that was really felt. It was really felt like I felt, and it was like my first time being there and meeting everyone, but everyone had this like gratitude about being in this space. Yeah.
That's what I always hear. That's why I'm not trying to do them so often. I'm trying to make them like
It's a good strategy. It's a good strategy.
and it loses its touch. And also, I put so much heart into it because the guest list part is the biggest thing to have certain names that come. I was shocked at the last one that we just had, like, because I'm hosting and in the event mode, I sometimes don't even realize. And I was looking at the guest list after or looking at the photos, and it was like so and so was here. Like I had no idea, and it's really cool. But I definitely think it's about how you make people feel because at the end of the day, everyone in LA goes to a cool party. They go where they have all the best food, the
Best beauty bags, a takeaway. Yeah.
so what they remember is how they feel when they enter that room and then what they leave with. And then it's so cool to me. Like I was at Expo West in LA. It's like it's in Anaheim, but it's like the biggest like natural food products convention.
Mhm.
And a lot of people in the brand space go to that. And some people were like, I went to one of the Coffee and a Good Vibe events, which is honestly such a win to me. That's so epic. But the thing is people were telling me, oh, I met my best friend, or I met someone who invested in my company, or I met someone who now we do X amount in business at your event. And they remember the person, the host. They remember like Coffee and a Good Vibe. And that to me is so fulfilling.
I love that. I love that because I also think in LA specifically, like when I moved to LA, I was only, I mean, I came here a couple of times before I was 20, but when I actively got like my first apartment and everything, I was 20 years old. And I brought Wesley with me. So I already had Wesley when I was 20 years old. Moving to
Wesley,
LA.
how old were you?
1. Yeah, she was 1 years old moving to LA with me. And it was, I mean, obviously I wasn't gonna like leave her anywhere else, but we were moving together. We were coming from Utah. And in Utah, it's kind of built in that like you're in like more of like a neighborhood vibe. You're in a community that's like built in with like where you're at. The people in the neighborhoods, they go to the same schools with their kids. And it's just kind of more of a working system like that. So when I moved to LA at 20, it was like, I have this young girl with me, right? I have my daughter, but I don't really have friends in the neighborhood. I don't really have any other like mommy groups. I don't really have a work community because like everyone's auditioning for like spot solo jobs. So I found when I first moved to LA, the scariest thing was you feel alone. Right. And so that was the biggest thing I wanted was like, how am I going to build this community for myself, but also for my daughter and us as a unit together. Right. And so I found like that was kind of like this journey I went on. And obviously the first community I really felt like I vibed with was in the dance community because I'm a dancer. So it was like easy to find myself with all these other dancers, which was fun and still is fun. And I still love that community. But at some point I was like, well, wait, like, I'm only also talking to dancers. Like there's so much other stuff to talk about in the world, right? So then I really opened myself up to my church, which was the Mosaic Church, which oh my gosh, I still go there to this day. But I was still kind of uncertain on this journey to find community that was like my people, that like kind of with what you're saying, what you created was like who I go to for, you know, conversations or about my daughter or advice. And I really found that in a church. But I know a lot of people want to kind of go down that route. And it's just been interesting because I've been trying to tell Wesley, like, you've got to start like looking for your community, like wherever you go, as she's like researching colleges and stuff like that. Because it's really easy to move somewhere new because she really wants to move away for college.
Where do you want to go?
Oh, I think New York mostly.
Oh, I can see you in New York.
I definitely want to be in a city.
Or so.
Yes, we support it. We think it would be amazing for her. But the thing I keep telling her, which is so important to us, is finding your tribe, finding a community when you get out there, because it's going to be so important to link up with those people, find similar interests, but also not necessarily just similar interests, because that's how I started out in LA. And I was like, there was a little bit missing from like my whole full self. So it's like I want her to find her people and like explore new things, but also like have people challenge her a little bit.
Yeah. I think that's what's good about living in such a big city. And like, I definitely want to stay in a city since like that's the way I've grown up. Like, I feel like I can't change that now. But it's also like we're exposed to so many different cultures and so many different people with various interests. So it's just like
the melting pot.
Yeah.
Goodness.
And it was separated. Those multiple types of groups together, that's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but it's so fun when you do it. And I think the biggest thing too, to do it in a genuine way that like was coming up to me when I was listening to both of you like have those reflections of community. The biggest thing I think it's been like getting to know myself on a deeper level. But then I started to, and I'm going through this. We're all in this growth journey. The more that I come to terms with like embracing and leaning into who I am and what makes me happy.
Yeah.
And what I want to be around, what I will tolerate, what I won't tolerate, what's my vibe, what's not my vibe. And like walking the walk with confidence of that, then you attract that in.
Yeah.
And I think it's so much about like knowing yourself and who you are. Because then when I moved here, I remember like sometimes if you don't know who you are, then the city can also like
it can swallow you. It can swallow you. And I think it happens to a lot of people. I think people come to LA thinking it's going to tell me who I am. It's like, no, you have to go on that own journey by yourself.
Then you're going to just be like an abundance attraction queen.
Yes.
As you walk in your power.
And there is something to be said, though, about the city. Like, once you find who you are individually, I like big cities because they accept that. They accept that individuality, which is really nice.
New York.
Yeah.
I spend so much time there, and I'm always so inspired. And I look at my content that I post on Instagram when I'm like in New York, and I'm like, girl, you are just so much more you.
Oh my gosh. When I go to the city, I never sleep. We never sleep when we're there. And I take her multiple times a year. It's kind of like our escape together.
What's your favorite part of the city?
I don't even know. I
feel
think
like you're Soho.
Yeah.
Oh, she's a Soho really. So, well, she wants to go to NYU, so that'd be absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
I see that.
For sure.
Do you have a vision board?
No.
I'm a big vision board. I was joking with my team because I was on a Zoom with them earlier and they all see my Google Calendar. So they have so much fun at the podcast. Now they know Allison from the event. And I was like, guys, Allison's home is literally, I think, the photos that are on everyone's vision board on Pinterest.
No, they are.
They're so sweet.
The photos of her home. I was like, the podcast, because I don't know, we were talking about the podcast. And I was like, yeah, it's at her home. Like, and I was like on a Zoom with them, but I was like prepping to leave because I had to like come right after my meetings. And then I was like, talking about the vision boards, because vision boards are everything.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I told you so or anything, because I don't want to do that. But I try to get her to do vision boards all of the time. And I love a vision board. I love it.
She doesn't see it. It's reality.
And like, it's like that thing of like, when you see it in front of you, it makes it more obtainable and accessible, right? 'Cause it's like, oh, it's right there. Other people have done it. I've seen it in person. Like, why? I could do that too, So I love vision boards. But you've done them before with me.
Yeah.
It's not like you're like anti it. You've done
I've done it before.
Yeah.
I just don't. It's like everything I do is mostly just based around school, and it's like I just write down the assignments I got to do. I don't vision board that because I feel like there's a lot of things I want to do. I feel like my main focus is school, and I don't know how to just see that, like vision board that. So that's different. But I think once I guess I could vision board the colleges I want to go to.
Yeah, and like the colleges you want to attend, like what is that? So like I would put like Soho, like prime near NYU, like the places in New York you want to go to, how you want to dress. Like once you just start going down the rabbit hole, then you get fun with it.
Yeah.
I do it on Pinterest.
I love.
She does it on Pinterest. I love that you brought that up because she does do it on Pinterest. The same concept.
Maybe it's like the hyper like person in me. I just like have no patience to crunch it out. And
No. I thought we were talking about literally physically having a vision board. Pinterest?
No, I do it physically. I have a
That's what I think about vision board because she
showed me my Pinterest board. It's my screensaver.
Yeah.
Oh.
Part of my vision board.
I love
Very. Lord, I have like a home. I have like a girl on a plane and because I only want to fly business.
Mine's very artsy, very Mediterranean housey. Like, yeah.
But every
you have it then. So you should,
But like when I was growing up, I would see her in our base. Like we had a townhouse, so it was like a basement at the time. There would just be whiteboards and be like printed photos and quotes and all that stuff. So when I hear vision boards, that's what I think of. But Pinterest is where my heart's at.
Pinterest, I love. Now I do a Pinterest board for everything. A new business idea, a new event, Pinterest board. Your Sweet 16, Pinterest board.
See, I am just like, that's
where the event process starts.
Yeah.
Mood board.
So every year, I like to get my blood work done. It's important to me because I like to make sure I'm being extra careful and aware of my health. I know it's been a really proactive step for me to stay in the right direction, but a lot of people say they get nervous about blood work. For me, it just really helps keep a clear mind. And something that has helped improve my results from my blood work is by using Field of Greens. With just enjoying one glass of doctor-formulated Field of Greens each day, you're going to feel amazing, plus your doctor will notice your improved health or you get your money back. So this Field of Greens customer wrote, "It's the best blood work I've had in a decade. My doctor said whatever you're doing, keep doing it." Another said, "For the first time in years, my cholesterol numbers are normal." This mom said, "After Field of Greens, my hair, nails, energy, and blood work are all better." So how can a fruit and vegetable drink promise better health? Well, each fruit and vegetable in Field of Greens was doctor selected to support vital organs like your heart, liver, kidneys, metabolism, immune system, and healthy blood cells. So let me get you started with 20% off and free shipping. Visit fieldofgreens.com and use my code BETWEENUS. That's fieldofgreens.com, code BETWEENUS. You're going to think I'm describing weight loss injections, but I'm not. These remarkable weight loss testimonials come from a doctor formula weight loss supplement called Lean. So let me go through them. Patty S said, "I finally found a weight loss product that works. I wanted to lose 20 pounds a week or more, and Lean really curbs my appetite." Lori M wrote, "I've struggled to get weight off, and Lean has been a lifesaver. I've been losing a couple pounds a week." Kelly F said, "Amazing. I immediately noticed an energy boost and a healthy weight loss in weight, and I would promote this product to anyone." So Lean was created by a doctor and university researcher to target the goals of GLP-1s, but without the injections. And these studied ingredients in Lean have been shown to lower blood sugar, radically reduce appetite, and burn fat by converting it into energy. If you're struggling to lose weight and healthy diet and exercise isn't enough, Lean is perfect for you. Let's get you started with 20% off. Just use the code BETWEENUS20 at takelean.com. That's code BETWEENUS20 at takelean.com. Again, takelean.com. treatcure.com. Now, disclaimer, results vary. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA, and it is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, and is not a substitute for care from a healthcare provider.
I'm 37, so I think I'm like technically young, but in my mind, I'm still like, I'm like 85 or 90. So I still print out everything on my printer and like cut it up, paste them together, put notes. I'm like super, super old school about it. But like, I kind of felt like what worked for me, but really I should get into Pinterest. I should do it.
And that is like you're spending time in the energy of like staring at the photo.
Yeah.
Like,
You can probably retain it better.
the other step with the vision where once you have that, I'm so big on law of attraction, it's like the belief system.
Yes.
Then working the next step of like, okay, every single day looking at that board and knowing that you are capable, worthy, and you're going to. It's not if, it's when that's
Yeah.
gonna happen.
See, but I will say that's also something that I adapted to and adopted when I got to LA because I was always a really good goal writer. And I learned that from my mom.
Like,
Yeah. Well, thanks. No, like my mom, when I was 18 years old, before I moved to LA for the first time. So like when I came out here, everything was kind of set up because I came out here to be on a TV show. So I had to like pay rent. I had to do any of that. I was just coming here for a show. Before I got here, my mom was like, well, this is your opportunity. Like, this is a big jump, right? Like you're jumping into LA, 18 years old, you're going to be on a show, but you might not be able to sustain that, right? So my mom, when I was 18, was like, I want you to write out 10 goals that you're going to achieve while you live in LA. And I was like, okay. So I wrote out those 10 goals. And it's not me saying this conceited. I was actually just really grateful my mom taught me this skill set that first year I lived in LA when I was 18. So I went from like gig to gig to gig. I hit 8 of those 10 goals. And I remember calling my mom being like, you helped me manifest all of this because you really put an order for me. But then after doing that, I saw like what we're talking about with vision boards, it really helps. Like visualizing it, seeing it, putting it on paper, seeing the result of it. So then after that, I started writing out like my life goals, my work goals, my family goals. And then I'd get like really detailed of like, oh, I'm going to accomplish this in 3 years. I'm going to make this money from that job. So I always started getting like even more detailed from it. And I really attest a lot of my work ethic and my jobs and the success I've had from that and my family like lifestyle to doing all the visuals and the goal writing and all of that.
and even like to on the other side, like I was talking to my mom last night on the phone, and Mercury's in retrograde right now because everyone's told
I didn't know. Is that why we're all off?
happening in the past couple of days, like a car breaking down, and now I make fun of it. And everyone's told me Mercury's in retrograde because I didn't know. And then everyone's like, "Oh, your car broke down because Mercury's in retrograde." I'm like, "Oh, okay." Like that's why. But when like shit hits the fan, or maybe that goal doesn't manifest as you thought it would, then it makes you trust and have belief. Now when bad things happen, I'm like, okay, universe, I didn't get that dream. Like say you auditioned for something and you didn't get it and it was on and you thought you would. Your response then is like, oh no, I didn't get that because something better is around the corner.
Yes.
It's like I didn't get into that school because the dream school, the right school is coming. It makes you like almost like deal with like when you get a no to trust that that's a detour in the right direction.
I love that. I love that so much because for me, it's not even just with goals though. You can also just do that with like life events.
Yeah.
Like even when you're driving and something happens, right? A lot of people are, oh my gosh, and they have like a ruined day from someone cutting them off or something happened. But I look at those things of like, oh, well, what if something happened to me? What if I would have got really hurt? Like, or if something happened at home and I couldn't get there on time, like, oh, what if I would have been in a car wreck on my way? So I think it's even down to like little, like minute things that happen in your life that those kind of habits really attest and make it easier to handle. I don't know.
True.
Yeah. But I don't know, like for Weslie, like when you're talking about going to school and you're like manifesting all these dreams, like what is it that you really are looking for as far as a community in that space?
I don't know as of right now exactly what I'm looking for. I'm giving myself that grace period because I think I have to spend my entire senior year really just like honing in on who I want to be. And before I even find my community, I don't even know exactly what I want to study. So once I find that, then I'm able to like kind of base what my learning is going to look like, what my education will be, who I'm going to be around, that type of environment. Because it's like, and I also just want to start the application process to even know that, oh, I've already started this. I'm already going. So once I find that and start that process, I just think everything will gradually come. And I'm a very like, I think I'm a big believer in like, I'm going to do my part, but everything will happen exactly how it needs to be, which is kind of essentially what you guys said. But I have like this underlying feeling that everything's going to be okay. And I don't know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a good thing to keep.
Yeah, for sure. I think
Very wise.
it definitely keeps me going because I don't think that I'm the most optimistic, but when it comes to my life and the trajectory in the future, I think I'm pretty like, no, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Like,
And I think that's good to hear because I feel like you always hear about teenagers having like this like angst about them, right? Like this unsure of how it's going to happen. It makes them like nervous, but it feels like you're really like, hey, like anything that happens my way, I can handle.
yeah, I think the biggest problem for me is like I'm a person that I love so many different things that I don't have a clear like pathway for myself. When my mom came to LA, she was very into dance and film. Me, I'm like, I love dance and film. I love hair and makeup. I love fashion. I love environmental studies. Like, I don't even know. I used to want to be a lawyer. I used to want to be a therapist. Like, every week, I feel like I change what I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And so it's like, I could be friends with anybody. I can have a community with anyone. And like, conversation really keeps me going.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know what I want to pursue.
The answers will come.
Yeah.
I think it's exciting though that you keep an open mind to it though.
For sure.
As I think a lot of advice from a parent or someone else would be like, okay, well, you definitely want to hone in and focus on that. But for me, I'm like, I think the more you explore and try new things, all those avenues will fall into place for you. And at some point in your life, you might be able to, in your time frame, achieve all of it.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we get so focused on teaching people that, for me, I was one of the lucky ones at 16, I knew I wanted to do and I could just go down that path. I was lucky to have that. Yeah. But I think we teach sometimes too much like, oh, you need to be a doctor and then take that path and always decide to be that. But I'm like, you could take other routes and get back to it. Start out as that, leave it for a little bit, come back. And a lot of people would say, well, it makes it really tricky, time frame wise, money wise. Yes. But life, it just happens to you sometimes, and you have to be ready for anything.
Important to be like that where you have all these different interests. Because what I've seen, like with interviewing founders on my show, I interview founders who like sell a company and then they lose who they are because they attach their whole identity to that company, or a relationship, like same thing, like a friendship.
Yeah.
And then that friend moves away, or like, they break up with their partner and then they lose a sense of who they are. So I think it's so important to be it.
And even like the industry that you're in, you kind of need to have a lot of different traits and a lot of different qualities. And you can build all those things from all the different things that you're even doing. I know for me, like as a dancer choreographer, like that was amazing. I don't even really use that whole quality of myself anymore. I had I don't even know if you know this, she knows this. I used to be terrified to speak in public. Oh my God.
When you said that, I was like, oh, well, the dancing and performing, well, I set you up really well for all the speaking that you're doing.
No, I was terrified of it. Even when I was her age, going into school, like at high school, if I had to give like a presentation or like a class report in front of everyone, I would skip those days of school and come up with an excuse.
Change that.
I got forced into it. So I did that reality show, So You Think You Can Dance. And I was on TV. And that was still kind of a situation where there was just cameras in front of us. So it didn't feel like it was like too much talking that was away from me, but it would make me really, really nervous. But then I got forced to do a live tour. And we were the hosts of the tour. So I was performing now, dancing in front of 10 to 20,000 people. Some venues were smaller, some were bigger. But like on average, it was about I would say 10,000 people. But you also had to host the event. So then it was I would cry after the show to the producer, oh my gosh, I don't know how to do this. I'm so scared to hold the mic. I'd literally be shaking backstage. But I just got forced to do it over and over again. So it was kind of like a forced skill set. And then as I got more comfortable with it, I started to learn it and learn that I actually enjoyed talking with people is more of when I made it more about growing and learning and connecting with the people in front of me instead of just I have to speak in front of everyone. It changed everything. But now I've learned that having more skill in different avenues really helps with your future because you can use all of it in any industry that you're in,
That's how I feel about the live shows. Hosting a podcast in a studio is so different than doing it live in front of a live audience, interviewing 5 people at once. I found growing up, I used to love, when I was a kid, I used to love making skits and recording them wish I did stuff with YouTube back then. This is the early days YouTube. Like,
Yeah, that was early on.
early days.
Yeah.
And I used to like make skits, remember the scripts, and like all of that like memorization work helps so much, because now that when we do the live shows, it's like this last event we had, I make sure I remember all the programming, and it's like you're hosting it, so there's multiple things programmed. Is, you know, like in a whole show, like there was the live show, there was the auction, there's ad reads, there's different intros, and I like memorized all of it in the live audience, and I was like, wow, that skill is so useful.
Yeah.
It's useful across in anything you're doing, even if it's like you're not hosting an event, but being able to work into like walk into a meeting or an interview process, like all those things. Like it'll be good. Even you doing this podcast right now, like you going into anything and being able to speak, use your voice, like have an opinion about things and knowing how to deliver it. Like it will help you.
The biggest thing I feel like with podcasting is like you have to be so present in that room.
Yeah.
Because it's like then if you're not in the conversation and you're thinking about like the questions, then it's when you re-listen, you're like, oh, I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's a space I'm still trying to navigate, because we were kind of talking about it beforehand. I'm not that big of a socializer. And so it's really a skill that I've had to learn, because I'm a naturally shy person. And I like keeping to myself. And so I think, one, this is challenging me to really just like talk with other people and gain other perspectives and advice. And I think it's really like, in any case, not even just a podcast, is very beneficial. As you guys are saying, like you had to overcome that and learn that. I think I'm still like trying to find not my voice, because I know who I am, but like how to feel comfortable with just speaking all the time. Like I still have presentations at school and I'm sitting there like shaking. I'm like, to the point where my teacher was like, are you okay? And they stopped my presentation. I like can't get over that. Like I know that I get nervous, but it's like it's so bad to the point where other people notice. It makes me feel like, wow, like I need to overcome this, and it's really hard to.
No, but you're doing it.
Great job.
Yeah. No, you're actively doing it. And that's even something I've been so impressed with, because like she's not kidding when she says that she was shy. She used to like hide behind my leg. And if anyone came up to us, people we knew, friends, anything, she'd kind of like well up in tears and be really timid. And she was like that for a very long time. And then as she started getting older, like
an excessively long time. It was maybe like end of middle school. Maybe my freshman year in high school, I still didn't talk.
Like even when she'd engage with friends that were even her friends, she still really kind of needed, and I don't say this to be talk about like in a negative way, but she still needed me there as like a support system. Like even when friends would come to our home, it was still a thing like, I really need you around, or going to like Tora's school or like to her school, you know, events or whatever. You know, a lot of kids want to be away from their moms, or like, oh, mom, this is me with my friends now. But she really kind of actively needed me just to kind of assist and be there. So it's been really cool seeing her push herself to really like go out on her own more, and even doing the podcast, challenging herself, because you've already had so much growth, but like you're really putting yourself out there in like a really lovely way and doing it.
I've definitely been better. And I think I noticed that within myself and noticed the impact. But I'm still unable to make a phone call for pizza.
Oh, yeah, no, that's true. That is facts. Yeah.
I can't. I will make her do it.
Oh, do you know what's really crazy? You always hear about like kids, if they get into trouble, like the parents are like, how do I discipline my kids? Like, okay, my kid went to a party. I'm going to discipline my kid by grounding them and not let them see their friends. I literally tell people, if I want to like punish Weslie, which I've never really had to do, but if I had to discipline her, it'd be like, you are going to go hang out with your friends tonight by yourself. You have to order a pizza. You have to go up to that register and buy our groceries tonight. Like that, those are the types of things that be like a punishment.
She's not even
I'm not kidding though. It's so real.
Yeah. It was really bad at one point. And I think it pushed me. Yeah, for sure. Like I didn't get in trouble, but for that being my like punishment, I was like, it hurts my heart to like go out and just do normal people things. But it's like I had so much anxiety surrounding just talking with people for so long.
Yeah, but it's getting better. And you actually address it, which I think that was kind of like the first thing with anything, right? Is like she's like not scared to like say that and like own it. Yeah.
Because a lot of people wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
It's so crazy how like we can attach ourselves to these identities. And that's where I feel like I'm such a big fan of personal development and going through my own journey and having these own like identities I put on myself that stems from like childhood or like things our parents said to us, and then we can rewrite them at any time.
Right. What was that journey for you? Like really discovering who you are? Like what kind of helped you force yourself into that space and also like develop on it?
Yeah, the relationship with myself. Like building the relationship with myself is then monumental, and that takes a lot of work. I think it's like so many layers to it, but I think journaling every single day, creating space for solitude within myself, and getting so comfortable to just be alone in my energy, whether that's in the morning, like when I wake up, making a coffee, and then sitting in silence and like doing the things that bring me joy. So like sitting there, I love to like set a little vibe. So like making my favorite coffee, or like doing this at a cafe on the weekend, and then getting clear with myself and my energy, and like journaling out how I'm feeling, and if something's coming up for me. I'm big on prayer and faith. So building that relationship with a higher power, I think, has been super helpful, especially when I felt very alone in my journey, building community and having trust in my journey. Another really, really big thing is, I think, like just taking yourself out and traveling by yourself. Like I
I love that.
travel, I think, because I've been going to New York so much for work.
Yeah.
And I actually really enjoy now taking myself out to dinner, like especially in New York, because it's such a big city. I love it because no one cares.
So you like you just like make yourself like
It's
that's like
my favorite. Like usually now when I'm in New York, it's so busy.
yeah.
That like every night is like it's a dinner with a brand or an agency or a client. Like, but then if there's like one, I always make sure there's at least one night I can like take myself to a restaurant, like sit where I want to sit at the bar, wherever you get seated, and like just enjoy that time. And I think being so comfortable to be alone and not care about what people think has been such an empowering thing.
I love that.
Because then when you're also like navigating dating and you're such a full cup as you are, it's a different game.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially now. It seems really tricky with like handling everything. Everyone has like such a big expectation on themselves and other people around them that I think solitude is like a really hard thing to find anymore.
It's very hard. Oh, a big thing for me where I find solitude every single day is in working out. Like movement, hikes, and then like workout. I'm a big fan of workout classes, but like those definitely, like if you're in a class, like it's different when you're like in a class where they're guiding you, but like I'm huge on working out, and having that, it allows my brain to just like get into flow.
I think there's something about because like when you're working out, like you're obviously sweating, you're bringing like up so much emotion, you're getting so much off of your chest. But it's such a great space to have creative ideas.
Oh, you're big on this, the cold plunge.
Oh my gosh, I'm so big.
You build the belief system of yourself. Like also like the act of waking up early, going for a workout, running 3 miles when you thought you could only run 1. Like all those things build up our resilience and our self-belief.
Well, it's that thing I always talk about this, and I've been doing it with Wesley. I do it with my other kids. I always say like we do the hard things. So like getting up and like working out every single day, getting into a cold plunge, taking yourself on a walk, meditating, eating healthy, drinking your morning coffee, and like doing it every single day at the same time in the same way, creating like healthy habits. You're already the 1% of the world if you're doing those things. Like creating those healthy habits for yourself and putting yourself in a place where you can be proud of yourself by the end of the day. Just doing those daily habits. I just feel like they are hard to make those choices and those conscious choices for yourself every single day. Like that in itself can like make you like really proud. And I just love that. And I try to like instill that and teach that. But like for me, if I don't accomplish anything else but getting my cold plunge or working out, I'm like, that's successful, right? Like that's all you got to do is like take care of yourself, energize yourself, and then like creative ideas will flow, get into your job on time, like all those things. It just starts kind of naturally happening when you create healthy habits. I'm such a firm believer in that.
Yeah.
We talk about that.
You are. And I think like she started having like the sauna and the cold plunge at her house, and it's like,
You do it?
I've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can't even lie. Like it is scary to jump into. Like I keep being like, the idea of it, I'm like, why would I put myself through it? But then once I'm done with it, I'm like, wait, I did that. Like I like that I was able to accomplish it. And I just think I need that like self-motivation, that drive to do it myself. I've done my yoga classes. I talked about it in the last podcast, but like I've gone out a little bit, but it's not to the extent where it's like you have a routine and schedule that keeps you. Like I feel like I still need to like find that
Your
rhythm. And yeah.
Yeah, that's the big the key. It's like your own version.
Yeah.
I think with like having a podcast as well, I'm like so mindful of like, okay, what I do may not work for you, because I was just like at a meeting and they were joking about my schedules. And one of the entrepreneurs, he's so successful, such a big founder, was like, yeah, I do not do that. I just go with the flow. But the man is so successful. I look up to him in every way in the business space. It's like, yeah, and that's what works for him. For me, I could not.
That I don't know. We are like peas in the pod. I am the same. I'm like, I have to have like, I schedule like my hours, like checking off a box of what you've done in a day. There's something so satisfying about it. Just like checking, like, I woke up at the right time today. I took my kids to school today. I worked out today. Like checking it off, it just makes it feel like it's easier to check off like the big things and the harder things. But oh my gosh, just the little check mark goes so far. I know, but it works for me. And I know you're the same.
But I think also it could change in seasons of your life.
Yeah.
I definitely think I've developed to be this way, like way more aggressively than like I was when I was your age.
For sure.
I was kind of crazy though too at your age, but like I was way less crazy.
No, I feel like I'm pretty well kept for my age. Like
You
we talked about it. I'm not partying or anything.
Yeah, you're
So now we're like,
No, she's super good.
yeah, both yoga, or that is in the cold blood.
I try. Those are all like things I do very sporadically. And so I need that routine. But it's like right now, I agree with you. Like when you do check off something, it's like, wow, I actually did that. Because I have a to-do list. Like I missed a lot of school. So I have to like catch up on everything. And the more that I was like checking boxes off, I was like, this is my thing.
Yes,
I was like, I might not be the most organized person in every aspect of my life, but I see the necessity for it and like the importance of like realizing that you accomplish things throughout your day, even if it's like little assignments that I have or little things that I've like done. I think it's important. And now I do have to get better of like being more having things in my regimen, like making my bed. I know, don't even get me started, but like
you're aware of it. You're aware. That's the first step. That makes me really happy to hear that. Actually, we're working on making the bed. We're working on that. Yes,
but finding that is very hard, and so it's very like almost inspiring to see that you guys have your routines, being in LA and having to like talking to so many people and like trying to find who you are within this space where there's so many different clashing personalities and different methods that people have. So it really takes a lot of time in order to find what suits you specifically.
Yeah, and I also think too with doing the things that aren't like fun to do, like I just think about the after. Or it's like, oh, if I'm going to this Pilates class, I'm gonna get my favorite matcha after.
Yes.
Or it's like I'm gonna go in this cold plunge. For me, the cold plunge, the biggest thing I tell myself is like, okay, I don't know what it is. If I go in a cold plunge and I feel bloated or inflamed, like after I don't feel snatched.
There's never, honestly, I can say this, and I can't say for everyone, but there's never been a time I've gotten a cold plunge and regretted it after. Like when you first get in, you're like, oh my gosh, can I survive this? This is so cold. But like I've never gone out and been like, I wish I didn't do that. And I've never gone to work out.
The workouts. Oh my god.
Yeah.
And if it's like a bad, like you get to the workout and then like the instructor's not who you thought, or like you don't, you just still feel good.
Yeah. Even if it's like I just did 10 minutes, I got on the treadmill and just walked, or if I just jogged lightly, or if I got on
still about diet. Like during the weekday, especially with work, I like to eat a certain way because of my like mental. I know like what I do well off during the day, and you always feel better when you do like the high protein breakfast versus something else. You know?
Well, what is your diet like? I didn't even think about that.
Oh, I love like a high protein diet.
Okay.
I think I came from competing when I grew up in fitness competitions, and I really maybe similar. I don't know if you had this with dance, but I danced when I was really young, and then I think that just was the reason why I got into like the bikini competitions, because I was always really motivated by like the physical
element of everything. Yeah,
and that got me into counting my macros and doing the whole meal prep and all of that, which was the biggest blessing, and then also brings a lot of like a poor relationship with food because you do it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
So I think it's like in me where I can like look at a piece of chicken and be like, that's 4 ounces, that's 5 ounces.
Wow.
That's this. It kind of like corrupts your brain in a way. It's been the biggest blessing because like I do eat a high protein diet and I can like navigate like what my body needs, but then at the same time, it's so important to have like a really intuitive, especially as women, I find,
Yeah.
like to be able to listen to your body and not numb out.
Yeah.
So those feelings.
Well, it feels like you had like, well, with dance, we weren't really taught like that we had to be nutritious or like in our diets or anything like that, you know?
And like on stage, like I don't know if that ever.
I really learned more about it when I grew up, like, you know, and I feel like it's something that's now talked about a lot more just as a whole, as a society and like a community of people. I think we have like a lot more education in it. But when I was growing up, I actually wasn't that healthy. I had to find it later in life. And now I'm like super diligent about it. But there's been times I've gotten really sick from eating so poorly. There was a time in my life when I was like, you know, in high school and a little bit into like my early 20s when I was just eating fast food all 3 meals, drinking soda all day long and never drinking water like ever. And my body like shut down on me one time and I ended up in the hospital. And my doctor was like, when was the last time you drank some water? And I was like, I have no clue. And so for me, so after that, I was like, that happened when I was like, I would say around like 21, 22. And then I've ate healthy ever since.
Yeah, you're so healthy.
Yeah.
With LA and like being a parent, what is your take on like what to prescribe or like give to your kids? Because I don't have a family or kids here, but like growing up where I grew up, like, and I see the LA moms here.
Yeah.
Erewhon, B, like literally, like I didn't grow up with Erewhon. So
yeah.
it's so different. I understand we have access here to everything. And like a lot of we live in such a health conscious city.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what's been your navigation? Like, do you like allow it? Are you really strict? Or you
want to answer? Yeah, you want to answer? My entire growing up, I say this to her all the time now. She was so almond mom. Do you know what that is? Where it's like she was like, you have to eat greens. It's chicken every night. Like,
why is it called an almond mom?
Yeah, why is it called almond mom? But I definitely was one with Wesley. I was very strict.
I got no clue why.
And I was definitely like cooking all of the time. And like her lunches for school were all the like organic versions of everything and like the healthy versions.
There would be nothing in our house if it wasn't from Whole Foods.
Like, and
Not one thing.
like there was no like processed snacks.
I still think when they think of LA.
Yeah, like
Songs are like that.
everything was very like different types of nuts. Everything was very like I had like a lot of like dried fruit options.
You want ice cream? We're gonna make our own frutto with the vegan.
Yeah, no, for sure.
The
Yes.
only time I could have any type of fast food, like I love a good chip. I love pot chips. She would not let me eat it. So the only time
Now she's lax.
now she doesn't care.
We're talking about 3 kids later. It's harder.
Yeah, now it's so good. You're definitely a lot more.
No, I just balance. With Wesley, I was like, okay, we're gonna do this. I'm gonna be like a good mom, and like I at that moment thought by being a good mom that meant like everything was healthy. I was researching everything that was in our kitchen, and I was really diligent about it. And I think in a lot of ways it helped me though. I was a little extreme in it, and I don't know if it was for the right reasons, but I did want us to have like a healthy lifestyle, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna be the best mom if I do this, and it was a really good choice for me because it educated me more. But then I feel like I was like, everything comes with balance because then the moment she could be away from me and like have other options of fast food or chips or all this processed food, it was like go time for her. You know what I mean?
We would go, like a lot of my family lives in Utah. So when I would fly back, like sometimes we wouldn't be together. I'd be like, I'm eating all the stuff from the gas station. Like, you guys know what I want.
Yeah. So I had to find a better balance. So now it's like there's a lot of healthy options in our home, but I also allow them to be children and have fast food because also I found a little more joy in it too. So I'm just teaching now. What I'm trying to do is like, okay, with Wesley I was a little strict, and with Maddox and Zaya and all of us, I want to be a little more well balanced. Yeah.
It's crazy because I like listen to so many other podcasts as well, and like when I listened to like other moms who have like health and wellness platforms, and they talk about how they're the same way with their kids, but then their kids are like, they go to a birthday and they're like, this isn't vegan, I don't want it, or like this isn't gluten-free, it's like I think it depends.
Yeah. No, I think our house now has a better balance for sure. And my kids, like, even though like I now have sugar options, like she's mentioned it multiple times.
Oh, I got real jealous. I bought a surround day. I was like, think about my childhood and how I was like just I literally got bribes. And now I like look at my brother and he can have like Doritos like every couple of days. And I'm like, you're lucky. You're so lucky. And you don't even know what it was like for me. I did not have a bag of chips.
This is literally a conversation that happened the other night.
That we have like the dupe Dorito that's healthy. That's
Yeah.
the crazy thing here.
That's the best thing about Trader Joe's. They have all the good snacks. And like,
What's your favorite? Can you?
what don't I love from Trader Joe's?
She's a chip girly, so all the chips. She loves
All the chips, even like they're like sweets though. They have like these ice creams, and I just feel like inherently because it's from Trader Joe's, it's healthy.
That's what people say about Erewhon. It's
Yeah.
oh, it's another Erewhon healthy.
I don't know. It has been a fun journey to go on, but it's really, I think my favorite part of like this health journey is seeing her reaction to the youngers. I call them my youngers, but it's funny to see because she gets really upset.
Yeah,
But we're balanced.
yeah.
Yeah.
It was crazy because this last year, I don't know months. I'm very bad at timing, but for how many years? 13, 15 years. She didn't have an ounce of dark soda.
I wouldn't have soda. I wouldn't have soda.
Or McDonald's.
Yeah.
She cut it out of her life completely. So I couldn't have it. Now, this year she wants to have both.
I had McDonald's now. I'm not gonna lie. I've had McDonald's now this last.
I can picture you having
No, oh man, I've had McDonald's I think 3 times. Their fries are delicious. I'm so sorry. It really is so good. It's so good. But I don't like get it a
I
lot.
want to try
but-
the new sweet green fries.
The what?
So waffle fry.
Yeah.
I know. Well, we can definitely go have
I
some.
want to try them.
But like it's I think sometimes you have to like acknowledge yourself a little bit and it makes you appreciate like having the healthy things, but it is kind of fun.
Yeah.
Like I now have like there's candy in my house. Now I drink soda and I actually love the different flavors of soda. I'm like such a soda guru.
Now you have
But I find balance, like, and I try to make sure I'm also working out and just teaching my kids, like, it's okay to have it. You don't have to like go crazy just when you're outside of my house. Like, you can have it here. But I think like even my younger kids, like, they're pretty healthy. Like, my kids aren't ever going crazy with treats, except Zaya. Like, but it's mostly with like granola bars. So it's like they still find their healthy treats that they can have as well. But you'll be good. You'll be good. We're going to do a little segment that's called Unpopular Opinions, and you're going to either agree with it or disagree. Wesley, should we go every other one?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to start, but you get to answer it.
yours or no?
Oh, we'll give ours after, but you definitely get to go first, okay?
No reasoning, just go.
Yeah, we're just going to go. Okay.
Love it.
Online communities are just as real as in-person ones.
Ooh. But everything has like a caveat.
Yeah. That's fine, yeah.
It's like, so I agree or disagree?
Yeah, agree or disagree?
I disagree.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I disagree too. I think they're different. I think they're just as important and valid, but I do think they're
They're
different.
so important.
Yeah.
They're both so powerful, but yeah, nothing beats the in person.
Yeah.
You go deep in person.
Yeah.
Okay. Introverts are better at building meaningful communities than extroverts.
Disagree. I think
Mm.
both can crush it.
Yeah, they both. Like, it's important to have both, and I actually think it's important for people to learn both sides, even if you are.
Labels. You don't have to identify it either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You shouldn't have to leave your comfort zone to find your people. I know you should leave your comfort zone. Personally, doesn't necessarily mean you have to, but I think you should.
Yeah.
I think you should explore other things.
should because you're gonna be missing out.
And also, like, you're going to learn more about yourself, right?
Yeah. It's okay to have network friendships. Not every friendship has to be on a deeply personal level.
Ooh, that one's like can be taken like in different ways, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like there's people in my life who are just from business, but then we're not necessarily like friends. Like friends.
No, I agree with that because I think it's okay because I think sometimes we actually are a society where we always say everyone's our friend.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's okay to say associate or coworker or whatever the different terms are. But
I'm like friends, and I want all my friends to be like
My friends, like,
genuine, not because they want something from me from work.
yeah, that's good. Okay. Cutting off toxic people, even in your community, should happen faster than we think.
I agree.
Yeah. I think that's a new concept for me, though. That's a scary one for me.
It's like if you're around that energy, that's like a poison, and it like will attract more of that in your life.
yeah.
And
I-
chaos and drama.
We've actually talked already a lot on the podcast. I am like a people pleaser kind of personality, and I have had to strip myself back of that a little bit and be okay with
You
like,
can set boundaries with love with those people.
Yeah.
yes, yeah.
Direct. You can.
It's been something I've been learning.
Yeah. You can't truly build a strong community without hosting in-person events.
I'll disagree. You can totally do it without in person.
Yeah. I mean, I like having in-person events, but I agree. You can build a really strong community just
I
online.
know some people who do that.
Yeah. That isn't that what podcast really is, right? Podcasts are building creativity and like communities.
Yeah.
Okay. The best communities have a little bit of gatekeeping.
I agree because it is kind of true. Yeah. Like I see that too in like the PR space, like with brands, like it's like almost like that edge, like everyone wants to be a part of it.
Yes.
That line of it though, but it's an art to making it.
That kind of goes back though to the letting go of toxic people. You kind of have to like find the people and keep it to the space that you want it to be and feel like you talking so much about energy earlier, and that is a really important thing.
Yeah, you gotta keep out the bad people too.
Yeah.
It's like boundaries, for
Boundaries,
sure.
yeah.
The strongest communities are built around shared struggles, not shared interests.
I think both, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, I disagree with that one. I think it's both.
Because you know Jesse Israel, who was speaking at the event, he talks so much about how like real community happens when you create that safe space where people can feel comfortable to share vulnerabilities.
Yeah,
Like, that's when deep connection happens.
I agree. Yeah. Okay.
So I think both, yeah.
You don't owe loyalty to your community if your values no longer align. That's kind of a tough one.
I know, it's kind of like
That's kind of oof.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Let's go to the next one. You can go to the next one.
Yeah. The pressure to find your people is overrated. Some phases of life are meant to be solo.
ooh. I think it depends on what season. I agree because I love a solo season.
Yeah.
Is it that season?
Yeah.
I think it's really important when you're like to find your people. They're almost not in every instance, but in some cases, it's really important to have been solo so you know who you are going into it. So you can add value to that community or that space because you know who you are. You know what I mean? Because if you're just so influenced by everyone around you, you're more just the taker. You have to be someone that can take but also give, right? And you can only be a giver if you actually know who you are in your own personal space and what your value is. Yeah. Oh, those were good. That was kind of fun.
These are really good. I know. These are like bros. Podcast bros.
Thank you. Well, actually, it was probably good for us to do it with you because, like, you are legit a podcast, bro. You've been doing this for so long. It's been so fun talking with you.
Such a pleasure. You know, being a podcaster, you always kind of almost like feel it because I've been in interviews when I'm like leading a conversation and you could tell when like someone's not they're not in interviews, you know?
Yeah. No, this has been so lovely. Thank you so much for coming on and joining us.
For having me.
Of course.
Now we're gonna go vision board.
Of course. Yes. Perfect. We love it. No, we'll definitely have you back. Thank you so much. Can you tell everyone at home where they can connect with you?
Yes, so I think social media is the best spot. At Ayesha Sehra or at Coffee and a Good Vibe, and Coffee and a Good Vibe on every podcast platform.
All right, you guys, this is a reminder to call the Holker hotline, record directly the link in the show notes, or email the betweenusshow@gmail.com to share your thoughts, questions, or experiences that you want for the future episodes.
Also, if you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like this video, follow us, and leave a comment down below about what this community really means to you.
This podcast has been brought to you by Podcast Nation.